Now at 11. IPS adopts a new policy on student privacy and information access as questions arise over immigration enforcement in schools.
This policy replaces uncertainty with uniform standards that can be applied consistently across the district.
60s for your Friday, but then we've got snow and storms in the 7-day.
And the battle over the Bears intensifies as a bill to create their new stadium here becomes law. But now Illinois lawmakers are answering with legislation of their own to keep the team where they are.
The Indianapolis Colts have granted Anthony Richardson permission to seek a trade. It seems like imminently Richardson's time here in Indianapolis is coming to a close. We'll have more details for you coming up on 13 Sports.
Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock, and we want to begin tonight with this new IPS policy that's focused on student access, safety, and privacy. The school board approved that measure last night following a lawsuit from the Indiana Attorney General claiming IPS unlawfully impeded federal immigration enforcement. As Logan Gay shows us tonight, district leaders believe this updated policy creates a uniform administrative approach moving forward.
When expectations are clear and consistently applied, schools are safer and learning is stronger.
IPS board members say this newly passed policy on student access, safety, and privacy is meant to bring clarity moving forward. It reinforces equal access to public education for all students living in the district, regardless of race, religion, disability, or immigration status. The policy also protects student record confidentiality, releasing information only when required by law, and designates the superintendent to develop and carry out the guidelines. Board members say it reinforces their core mission, educating and supporting students.
The policy makes clear who is responsible for what and how decisions are made.
The new policy follows a lawsuit from Attorney General Todd Rokita, who claims IPS refused to turn a student over to ICE in January. When the lawsuit was filed, Rokita said the district's policies and practices frustrated federal immigration authorities. But IPS board members say their new policy follows Indiana law and stays within legal boundaries.
IPS will continue to comply with all applicable local, state, and federal laws. This policy neither creates exceptions nor authorizes deviation from those requirements.
Students show up.
Elia James, a community advocate who works with many immigrant IPS families and has nieces and nephews in the district, calls the policy a positive step.
For families, I think the most important thing right now is that IPS is clearly committed to protecting their children's rights and their data,
which she says allows all students and parents to focus on what's important.
This is about trust, and when families trust the school, students show up, they learn, and they succeed.
Which she says is the ultimate goal. In Indianapolis, Logan Gay, 13 News.
13 News reached out to the Attorney General's office tonight for a statement about this new policy. They're working on getting that information back to us, and once they do, we'll update the story for you. IPS passed this new student access and privacy policy the same night that state lawmakers sent a bill on immigration enforcement to the governor's desk. That bill prevents government entities, including public colleges and universities, from limiting immigration enforcement. Now, K through 12 schools are not specifically named in this bill, but districts could fall under that definition. This bill also gives the Indiana Attorney General's office power to sue agencies that do not comply and defend those that do. We've got a full breakdown of that bill right now, awaiting the governor's signature. You can stream our coverage over on WTHR Plus by scanning this QR code that you see here on your screen. Rob?
Well, Scott, the next 24 hours of the forecast are pretty simple and beautiful, to be honest. Temperatures overnight are going to get down a little bit on the chilly side. We already have some 30s in place, but we're expecting to get near freezing for almost everyone. And then tomorrow is beautiful. Take a look. Temperatures go into the 60s. This is going to be a fantastic way to wrap up February, although we've got a couple of more days, but I think both days will either be in the 50s and 60s. Tomorrow is your day in the 60s. After that, it gets a lot more complicated. I'll explain coming up.
All right, Rob, see you in a few minutes. We've got an update for you tonight about that fight to bring the Chicago Bears here to Indiana. Today, Governor Braun signed a bill paving the way to build a new stadium for the Bears. to come to the northwest part of our state. So Indiana lawmakers right now are working to woo that NFL franchise. Meantime, lawmakers over in Illinois are making moves of their own to keep the Bears in the Windy City. So tonight we want to break down where everything stands, starting with Indiana's new law. Governor Mike Braun signed a bill today creating the Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority. So this group decides how a new stadium would be paid for and built. Nothing in this bill, though, solidifies or requires the Chicago Bears to come to Indiana. But if they did, the team would invest more than $2 billion in the project, which Governor Braun addressed on the Pat McAfee Show today.
They came to us. We didn't try to lure them because they thought there was no interest, and they were being told bluntly, you got to build your own stadium.
So the Bears weighed in on Indiana's new law, saying they continue to work on the necessary due diligence and appreciate the ongoing engagement with state and local leaders. Now let's talk about the Illinois proposal. Today, state lawmakers advanced a bill addressing mega projects in that state, like the Bears Stadium. So the Illinois bill creates a similar tool as Indiana's new law for local governments and companies to negotiate payments agreements on major projects. Companies could get major tax exemptions in exchange for millions of dollars in investments and certain labor agreements. So the Bears could use those incentives to upgrade their current stadium in Chicago.
The conversations that I think have been had with leadership and the Bears also made it prudent to move some things to at least put the pieces in play to keep them here, to do the work that needs to happen.
So that bill in Illinois advanced out of committee today and now heads to the full House. Here's a look at the other stories making headlines tonight. A 16-year-old is due in court tomorrow, charged as an adult, accused of shooting at IMPD officers. Investigators say Jamar Neal shot at police from inside of a car that officers were trying to pull over in connection to a deadly shooting investigation. Neal was taken into custody along with 2 other teens in the car and the 21-year-old driver. A Plainfield man convicted of repeated drunk driving was just sentenced to 4 years in prison. 28-year-old Timothy Hughes already served prison time when he was 17 for a deadly drunk driving crash. Then last June, he was arrested in Henry County for OWI. Just weeks before, he was arrested in Hamilton County for drunk driving. His trial for the Hamilton County arrest is set for April. Tonight, a man is under arrest accused of setting a mobile home on fire, killing a 59-year-old woman inside. Police say the man and woman lived in that mobile home together. Court documents detail the suspect's confession, saying he bought matches and sprayed the couch with nail polish remover before starting the fire. He faces preliminary charges of murder and arson. Luger Plaza here in downtown Indy is officially a city park, bringing new rules with the designation to clean up criminal activity in that area. IMPD saw more than 50 incidents reported within a block of Luger Plaza between January 1st and February 16th. Now, officers will enforce city park rules. It's only open from dawn to dusk, has parking restrictions, and alcohol or substance abuse is not allowed. The Indianapolis Zoo announced plans for a prescribed burn in the Plains area tomorrow. That portion of the zoo will be closed from noon until 3:30 while all animals remain safely indoors. The zoo says you may see smoke, but this is a planned and carefully managed operation with the Nature Conservancy.